Hello, welcome to today's practice. Today we're going to start on our mats. So if you want to get comfortable on your backs, I'm going to begin with the soles of my feet together and my hands on my lower tummy. You may want to do the same or get into another comfortable position. And we're just going to start with some breathing here. So we're going to take a nice big breath in through the nose, feeling the lightness, feeling the belly expand, and then a full exhalation out through the mouth, allowing your body to fully relax. Inhaling in through the nose, feeling the lift and the extension, and exhaling through the mouth, feeling the body soften and melt into the mat. And just continue with this at your own pace. Using every exhale to relax a little bit deeper and let go. And then whenever you're ready, we're going to bring our left knee into our chest. Give yourself a little hug here. And we're going to hold behind the back of the leg. And we're just going to extend, flexing the foot, and bend, extend and bend. Again, moving at your own pace here, feeling that stretch through the back of the leg. And then we're going to grab onto where we can, really, wherever's most comfortable. I'm going to grab onto kind of between my shin and my ankle for a passive stretch here. And then you can choose to point and flex as well, just to kind of feel the stretch in different places. Maybe move the ankle in a circular motion and change directions. Just moving in ways that feel nice and spending any extra time on areas that feel like they need it. We're then going to come onto our sides and hold on to the front of our ankle. Stretching out the quad initially, get yourself into a nice comfortable position here, and then we're just going to move backwards and forwards. Really feeling that in our pelvis, in our hips. So moving backwards and forwards. And then you may want to pause. And we're going to bring that knee forwards in front of us. You can use blocks or books if you want to raise that knee slightly. And then we're going to open to the other side, really feeling that spinal twist. You may want to look at the hand if that feels comfortable, or you can gaze upwards. And then as we inhale, we're going to bring ourselves back to centre. And we're going to do that on the other side now. So extending the left leg, bringing the right leg in for a little hug, knee to chest. And then we're going to extend and bend. Active stretch here. Holding on to the back of the thigh. Again, you can point, you can flex, whatever feels nice here. And then grabbing onto behind your calf or your ankle, wherever you can reach really, that feels good. And just having a passive stretch here. Again, you may want to point your toes, moving your ankles in a circular motion. And then changing directions. And then we're going to come over to the other side now. So again, holding on to the front of our ankle, supporting our head and our neck. And then we're just going to move that knee backwards and forwards, moving the hip backwards and forwards as well, the pelvis. Again, you can move at your own pace here, there's no rush. Just going to move my water bottle out the way. And then again, we're going to bring that knee forward. You can support this if you want to with the books or a block. And then we're going to open and reach. Feeling that gorgeous spinal twist. And then just pause here. Again, you can gaze upwards or you can look at your hand, whatever is most comfortable and gives you the best possible stretch here. And then moving back to centre. And give yourself a little hug. Knees into chest. Then we're going to just rock backwards and forwards. Just massaging the spine on the mat. Gentle rocks. Inhaling and exhaling. And then whenever you can gain enough momentum, just up to a seated position. And then into our all fours. So spreading the weight evenly here between your knees, your hands, all 4 points. Trying to maintain a neutral spine. Really feel your way through this, and then we're going to curl the toes under and we're just going to lift gently off the mat. And then lower. Inhale and exhale as you lift. And lower. And imagine you're balancing something on your back here, so keeping everything really stable. Inhale and exhale as you lift. And then lower. And then we're going to come up into our full downward dog. So pushing our hips back and then just walking out the dog. So driving the heels towards the mat. Really exaggerating this bend in the knees. Really feeling your way through this position, this movement. Spreading your fingers. Really pushing back. And then we're going to come into our three-legged dog. And then we're going to bring that right leg behind our left leg. So we're putting all of our weight on our left leg and driving through that left heel for a really lovely stretch through the back of the leg, the calves, the hamstrings. Don't worry if your heel doesn't quite touch the floor here. Just exhale through it. So inhale as you exhale. Just spend a moment there. And then three-legged dog again, and we're going to open through the hip, so bend the leg, and then sweep that leg forward so that it comes to the outside of our hand. We're then going to turn our toes outwards a little further, really accentuating that stretch, opening through the chest, and then drop the back knee, gazing upwards again, spending a moment here, inhale and exhale. See if you can drop your elbow down to the floor. Maybe one elbow, maybe both. You can also come in and out of this if you want, if it's a bit uncomfortable, as I'm doing. So dropping the elbow down and then coming out of it. Really using the exhale to deepen and further that stretch. And then we're going to just crawl our hands backwards, flex that front foot. And we're going to inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to fold into it, allowing our chest to come a little bit closer to our shin. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold forwards, keeping this dynamic and fluid. And then we're going to crawl forwards again, hands on the inside of that foot. Spend a moment here, really breathing into it. And then we're going to curl the toe under, back into our high lunge. And then we're going to bring the front foot to meet the back foot in downward dog. And again, just pedal it out here. Inhaling and exhaling, really connecting to the breath. And then again, we're going to do our three-legged dog. And now we're going to bring our left leg behind our right leg. All of our weight on our right leg, just trying to rest here. Inhale and exhale. And then again, three-legged dog. And then we're going to bend, open through the hip, and then we're going to sweep that leg forwards so that it's now on the outside of our left hand. You may want to turn your toes out a little bit more as well. And then drop that back knee and that back foot. I'm just going to spend a moment here again, see if you can get your elbows down to the floor or even further, if that's available to you today. Or you can just come in and out, keeping this fluid and dynamic, using that exhale where you can. So we're now going to crawl the hands back, flexing that front foot. And we're going to inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to fold forwards, drawing our chest, our forehead closer to that front leg. Inhale as we rise, exhale as we fold. Inhale and exhale. Work into your body's current level of flexibility again. And then crawl the hands forward. And come back into our high lunge. And then bringing that back foot to meet the front foot to meet the back foot in downward dog, and then pedaling out. We're then going to walk our feet to meet our hands. And then folding up and rolling, unravelling all the way up to standing. Have a little shake out here, a bit of a reset. We're now going to come into our warrior three. So we're going to place our hands on our hips or wherever gives you most stability and balance. We're going to start on our left leg. So slowly we're going to draw our right leg back. Soft micro bend in that left knee. Keeping everything really slow and stable here. And then bring our arms out to the side as if we were an aeroplane. See if we can pause here. You may want to find a space on the ground or a dot on the ground that you focus on for stability and balance. And then we're going to step back with that back leg into our warrior one. We're going to raise our arms, spreading those fingers, active hands. Inhale and exhale as we lunge a bit deeper. Inhale as we draw up. Exhale as we sink down. Inhale and exhale. Try and draw your shoulders down here. Keeping those fingers, those hands really active. And then just pause. And then we're going to bring the hands to the ground. And we're going to step back into our high plank. We're then going to come onto our knees, or we can remain on our toes, whatever is most comfortable for us today. You choose the option that works for you. And we're going to come into our chaturanga. So we're going to lower ourselves down, allowing our elbows to skim the side of our body, slowly until our chest meets the floor. Elbows behind us, fingers spread, just gaze upwards, allowing the chest to lift. And then if you want some more, pushing up into our upward dog. Keeping the glutes and the hamstrings active here, squeezing those, and then pushing back into our downward dog. And then jumping or stepping forwards before we unroll back up to standing, finishing with our shoulders, a little shake out, and then we're going to do the other side now. So warrior three. So hands on the hips or wherever gives you the most stability and balance. And again, small micro bend on that right leg. We don't want to lock it out. I'm going to extend our left leg to the back. Imagine that we want to draw a line from our head all the way to our toe. Arms out to the side if that's available to you. And just pause here for a second. And then we're going to drop that back leg. Adjust your position if you need to. We're going to reach upwards, active fingers. Inhale as we rise slightly and exhale as we sink. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Again, moving at your own pace here. There's no rush. And then plant the palms of the hands on the floor and step back into our plank. Again, knees or toes, whatever is best for you. And then we're going to lower ourselves down, elbows behind us. Gazing upwards, spreading our fingers into our cobra. And then pushing up into our upward dog. And then pushing our hips back into our downward dog. Inhale and exhale. We're then going to lower our knees to the mat, big toes together, knees wide. And we're going to reach out in front of us into our child's pose. You can even come onto your elbows if you want to, whatever's most comfortable for you. You could even place a block or some books underneath your forehead. I'm going to push that bum right back now. And then we're going to finish today's practice in a seated position. So again, nice and comfortable. I'm going to go cross-legged. You may want your palms facing upwards to the ceiling, to the sky. And we're just going to finish here with some breaths. So again, inhale. Feel the rise of your chest. And exhale. Feel everything soften. Inhale, and at the top, see if you can pause for a second. And exhale, allowing yourself to fully relax. Inhale for the lift. And exhale for the body soften. Just spend a few moments here. And then when you're ready, wiggle your fingers, give yourself a little shake. And that's the end of today's practice. I hope you had a lovely stretch. And I'll see you again soon.